Introducing the PDC World Darts Championship.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy Dartmas to you all. This is the Online Darts Fallout Bar as we have come to the conclusion of day number 1 of the 2026 PDC Paddy Power World Championship. Stan Simpson joining you from up in Teesside. I'm joined with a familiar face of Mr. Cam McFarlane across the Pennines and a new unfamiliar face to the Fallout Bar, Dan Spedding. Gentlemen, how are we this evening?
Not so bad, mate. Not so bad. It's always good to be back. I was a little bit better before that last game, I'll be honest. But yeah, you used the wrong phrase as well. It's not even Merry Football Dartsmas anymore, is it? We're on Merry Sky Sportsmas or some bollocks this year, aren't we?
Yeah, it's testy and it's a stretch. And the only good thing about it is after all of the A-list celebrity footballers and dart players that Sky Sports have used, I don't know if you noticed, but they closed out with a finishing Big Dan Burn, which I thought was quite nice. I enjoyed
we're gonna have war on the Fallout Bar tonight. But Dan Spedding, good time to bring you in. How are you, mate?
I'll not comment on that Dan Burn topic. We'll leave that for another show. But
after
yeah,
Sunday,
feels like the start of Christmas. We've got the darts back. It's not about the Coca-Cola advert. It's about the World Championship. So last match was a struggle, but it's good that it's back and we've got a nice 3 weeks ahead.
Yeah, and we're busy already. Clearly, everybody is in the mood for some darts. Chat room is really busy already. Lot of familiar names and faces, but also some new faces, some new names, some new members as well. Some new people that are finding that member button in the YouTube show. So shout out to Alex, who has become a member this evening. Again, we've got Andy in, Kay's in as well, as is Daniel. Of course, Jarlath Eaton is in as well. He's been watching with great interest. I think that last game was his favourite this evening. Shelty's in. Anthony is in from across the pond as well. It's a busy all night already in the chat room. Don't forget, folks, if you are watching along, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that when we come a little bit later in this evening show and we talk about predictions for tomorrow, you can get your predictions in to the chat room. You can join in some crack and banter as we go along as well. But first and foremost, we have to talk about the darts that we watched tonight. And as is tradition, we'll start with the opening game. And if I'm really honest, this one... So in our house, me and Billy did our predictor, and I got it wrong. He got it right. But from entertainment value, Cam, do you think this one over-delivered slightly with Merck having a 3-1 victory over Kim Hylax?
I don't know about entertainment factor, but it certainly gave us an upset, which is always good to see. I usually quite fancy Kim Hylax to be one to go under the radar and maybe win a couple of games on this stage, but I thought Merck played really, really well. I thought it was a solid performance for someone making the first appearance up on the stage, and like just even looking at the end of it and the 25, which could get a little bit ropey when you're sort of trying to win your first game on the stage. He took it out in 2 darts and looked really cool under pressure and someone that clearly handled the occasion pretty well.
Yeah, I think Arno Merck, a lot of viewers, I suppose it attracts the casual viewer. Once we get onto Sky Sports, we get to the World Championships. A lot of people probably not as familiar with Arno Merck, but Dan, a bit as Cam said there, he gave quite a good account of himself, didn't he? He looked comfortable, I thought.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the first couple of legs, I think, started out a little scrappy, and it was like, this could be a bit of a rough watch, but he started to get his scoring was good. He was consistently hitting 140s. He was peppering that treble, and Hylax looked like he didn't know what to do with him at all. He he had no answer to it. He had a little bit of resistance in that third set where I think he took out a 1-1-3 and then an 80 back to back. But other than that, Merck done a real professional job on him. It was very impressive, I thought.
And interesting now, that and it did look, I thought it was a professional job. And I suppose of the two, what I thought we would see in this was if we were going to see a professional performance of someone just coming in, digging in and getting a job done, I thought that, we've got a former Premier League player, in Kim Hylax, someone who has been, he's ran through quarterfinals and
Jesus Christ, Mr. Simpson! It's the first night of the Fallout Bar. You can't be mentioning that.
I said
already.
The word Premier League on day one. Now, granted, we weren't picking spots for next year. I'm regaling with nostalgia, but I suppose a question to both of you, because we're going to get an opportunity to talk about Arno Merck again, because he's going to play again in this tournament. But Kim Hylax, like he went through that spell, sort of around like 15, 16, 17, where he was in the Premier League, deep runs to quarterfinals, winning on the Euro Tour. Are we ever going to see that again, or do we think this is just the continuation of the slow decline of Kim Hylax, do we think?
Yeah, it feels like this is the level now, doesn't it? It feels like there's flashes of it, like you say, but even in there when he won that third set, he's still only averaging low 80s. It feels like that those bursts he used to have, where he'd go through and maybe rattle off a set in 100, 110, something like that quickly, are gone now. Like that level seems to have disappeared.
Yeah, and the draw works out a little bit interesting as well, because the level that we saw, and I think the game that Arno Merck can produce, he meets Peter Wright or Nolan van Leuven in the next round, and he's got a chance against either of those players. I think like this could be a bit of a coming out party, couldn't it?
It definitely could. I mean, he was obviously, they've mentioned he was a very highly prestigious teenager and he's had some struggles, which is why he's took time away from the game. But, what the Peter Wright that we've seen recently, if he gets through, I wouldn't be backing Peter Wright at all. I don't think he showed any level of consistency. And I think if Merck plays like that, he'll beat him. And I think he's probably the favourite going into that second round fixture for me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and I think he's a player that has a lot to offer. And sometimes players like that, they do need a bit of a coming out party, don't they? They need something to kick them on and make them more comfortable and make them feel at home, I think, on the big stage. Now, a player that is very at home on the big stage, moving into the second game of the night, Michael Smith making his 15th World Championship appearance, which seems, I always think that seems a bit rogue, because he doesn't seem old enough to have played this 15 times, but started very young. I know even with the injuries and the arthritis and the limp that we've seen and sort of nerves coming into it, Dan, did this just sort of go the way we expected, really?
It did. I mean, that first set in particular, he looked like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. You could say he wasn't happy. Any misplaced dart, he was having a word with himself. He was getting himself agitated. But Ashton just didn't really have the game to keep him in that headspace. And he increased by 10, 20%. And that was more than enough to see the game out, really.
He still averaged 91, which, that's not going to win a world championship. And it's not going to beat some of the best players in the world. And he did it with not a lot coming back at him. But is that just what he needed? Did he just need to be able to turn up and win a game on the stage and play at he threw at a decent level? He didn't have a stinker. He didn't get drawn into anything.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what he needed. Like, you could sort of feel it in that first set that at 2 apiece, if he loses that leg, he's in all sorts of bother and he's going to put himself under so much pressure. But from winning that leg, then rattling through the second set was like prime Michael Smith. Over 100 average, cruised through it, couple of 180s in there. Just really, really good from him and just did a professional job. And it's exactly what he needed. Got a bit of time off now, probably like practice a bit, but not too much. Make sure he's fit and healthy and ready to go when he comes back.
Yeah, and you know, we'll get to predictions and we'll pick it out day by day. But you know, Zonneveld or Pujar is the next game for Michael Smith, and you know, I think if he gets the rest right, if he gets the preparation right, if he comes in as fit as he can be, then you know, there's a decent chance that if he replicates the 91 and he sort of keeps the same level, that could get the job done again. And before you know it, he's won a couple of games at the World Championship, and things are starting to look a bit more comfortable and normal for him, aren't they?
I think with Michael Smith, because it's in such recent memory that he was brilliant, you know, it's only 2-3 years ago. And when you watch him, you still see it in very small spells. Like that second set, the way he goes around the board on like a 3-figure checkout or a pop where it's an 8-yard, he's so quick. And when it looks good, he's so naturally talented. I think you always believe he can get back there. But if he has a little bit more coming back at him, I don't know if I'm just romanticising the fact I want to see Smith back there and see him competing with the top names again, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think it was quite jarring for a lot of fans. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for the bloke himself, but seeing that quarter final at the Slam and the game against Dobie, that yes, it was a bit of a mess, that game, in terms of doubling and the quality, but he got over the line. And then I think when he came out at Minehead, to see how pronounced the limp was and how much it genuinely seemed to be a struggle for him to get onto the stage. But he does look to have progressed a lot from there to now. He seems to have taken a huge stride in whatever recovery or treatment he's having, and it looked a lot more comfortable, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's the thing, and that's what we want to see. And we want to see that he's at that point. Like, it needs to be that he can just perform, really.
Yeah, I think it's one thing seeing a player who goes on the slide a little bit because of their darts, but then when there's other factors and other things going on, like you just want to see the darts, don't you? You want. That's it.
We don't need anything else. Like, that is exactly the point. It is. We just want to see him be able to just do his best up there and be in a position where he's not having to worry about anything else, and he's not having to stress about it. He's not under pressure to put money on his ranking to make sure he's sticking in something. We just want to see him just be able to play with a bit of freedom. Yeah,
and I'm hopeful that we'll get there. And I certainly think in that second round we could with a bit of a rest we could see a little bit more of it. Moving on, game number 3, and the defending, the reigning champion took to Alexandra Palace. Quick shout out to Anthony for that spectacular hat. I thought that was a very impressive, and it's bloody hot in there as well. So he's done well to keep that on his head and not get too sweaty and flustered with it on. But yeah, again, I think a very professional performance, Cam, against a very game Lucky D. I thought he came to play, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. This was one of them games where I sat there, and I mean, it's exactly what I expected. I thought he would come to play. He's not someone that was going to get fazed by it, and he would give it a go. And I've been belting on to everyone all day about the fact that 5-1 was stupid money for him to win a set. And so close to looking like
I knew not my bet down.
That's it. Yeah, it's very, very close to looking like I know what I'm talking about, but unfortunately, it didn't land. So apologies to anyone that followed me in on it. But
yeah, well, these things happen. It's why you have a punt, and yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think Dan Littler was just he was Littler, wasn't he? And he, the sort of you tick the boxes. We saw the big checkout. Granted, it wasn't the biggest of the night, but he's averaged over a ton. He's played pretty well. The doubling was very good, 65%-ish on the doubles, and perfect start. Just good work. Don't get involved in something. Don't go in a game. Don't slip on the banana peel and just get on with it. 10 days off.
Yeah, I think it was just a typical winner's performance. The people that consistently win are by the eye test, it probably felt like Littler was in second, third gear, but then you look at the stats and he's averaged over 100 and won 3-0. He just always seems to do the right thing at the right time. He can play his B or his C game and still win comfortably. I think it's perfect round one. He hasn't went too early playing his best darts, but he's got through it, no fuss, no hassle, no drama.
Definitely the most important thing. I do think Labanauskas can probably be a bit, maybe, I mean, it's done now, isn't it? He'd probably be a bit frustrated, a bit disappointed with the draw, because the game that he brought tonight, the way that he played, if he'd have come up against a Michael Smith, or even, there's a lot of non-seeded players on that side of the draw, that performance probably gets him through, but he's just bumped into the best player on planet darts, hasn't he?
He won every other game tonight, wouldn't he? Like any of them that he played there tonight, he'd have absolutely pissed through. So, yeah, it's a little bit rough for him. He's just it's that level from Littler, and when it comes down to it, fifth leg of a set, he just finds that extra gear when he needs it.
Yeah, I do get the feeling though, and he's not a young man. He's like 49 now, Darius, but. And we've talked earlier about Kim Hybrids going. I know maybe the highs were higher, but I don't know what you think. But I get the feeling that we will continue to see Darius Labanauskas in and around the PDC. I don't think we're going to end up seeing deep runs on TV, but he'd become a bit of a stalwart where we would see him regularly and he would upset people. And I remember watching him in the Palace when he played John O'Shea and. I played very well doing so, but I still think there's maybe a game left in there somewhere. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he definitely hasn't had that highs that Hybrids has had in his career, but he's just very steady. And other than probably the Lukes, Gerwin Price, and your Josh Rock, if you don't play your A game against him and he plays like he did this evening, he's going to give you a real close run for your money. I mean, he was hitting ton plus checkouts. The amount of times he hit out the ball, going for a ball, a couple of inches either side. It could have been very different, and I think he's a very difficult man to beat.
Yeah, it's not too long since he was a quarter finalist at this competition. And yeah, I think we'll see him. But I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Cam. It's just wasn't phased. He didn't get overshadowed by the spectacle or anything. Again, we'll talk a lot about Luke over the coming weeks, but I thought he did. I thought he put a good account of himself, Darius, and a bit unfortunate with the draw, but made it. There's not that many 3-0 games that are particularly entertaining to watch at this stage of this tournament normally. But yeah, he made it a decent game to watch, didn't he?
Definitely. Yeah, very much so. And I think, like you say, he pushed him all the way, and it probably bodes pretty badly for the rest of the tournament for everyone else that he's been pushed already as Littler and come through it. Like he's had to step his level up and play well just to get through his first round, and that has got to be a worry because you want to catch him early and catch him cold, and when he's already doing that early on, it does make you worry. I think the biggest thing for me tonight was new set of darts, 200 quid, which is fucking mental. Just 2 weeks before Christmas, and he's not even fucking rocked up with them.
No, I tell you what, it's expensive when it feels expensive when you got kids writing Christmas.
That's exactly my point. Like, yes, I get that it costs them plenty of money to put these together and put a new one out, but fuck me, 200 quid for a set of darts 2 weeks before Christmas that every single kid watching wants to use. It's a piss take, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard work, mate. It's hard work. Right, from a game that was very watchable. Oh, my God. This one, I mean, I'm glad they put it on last because at least it did allow.
I've got to nip off for a minute. Is that all right?
At least, well, I mean, you could have. You had about an hour and a half to nip off, and I went out, put the bins out, did a few jobs, did some stuff, did the dishwasher, come back in, started the next leg. Like it was like, good Christ. Yeah, hard work this one, and I don't know if I'm honest. I think I was more disappointed because I expected so much more really. I think Jermaine Van Henrik, you know, we know he's got some potential. You know, he's a potential superstar of the game going forward. Rasma, there is a game in there. He's a bit eccentric. We know he likes to play the 19s like you do, Cam, and it makes everything a bit wacky. But God, it underwhelmed so much that it was a race to the bottom, I think, Dan, wasn't it?
It was a tough watch, yeah. I mean, I think the only benefit of that being on last is that not everybody left Ali Pali all at once, so it was staggered. So at least people can get away.
It's not an easy place to get away from it, you know.
It was just the lack of finishing, just the sloppy end of legs. It just felt hard work from the start, really. And I mean, I don't know how Vandenbergh picked up the set against Rasma, because he had absolutely no right to. But yeah, that was a tough watch to end the night, I'm not going to lie.
Cam, 11 from 35 on the doubles, averaging it's 89 average. It's got to get better, hasn't it? Or it's done.
You hope so. Yeah, you hope it does, because it's going to be a pretty short trip to the Palace when he comes back, if not, because that was sort of nowhere near. And yes, Dimmy's not been in the best of form. Darren Beveridge is playing all right, but whichever one of them comes through, that is just thinking this is easy into the next round here. And unless he just finds what he found in that last leg, where all of a sudden he goes 6 perfects out of absolutely nowhere.
Well, yeah, and that was it. Like, all of a sudden, it just seemed. And then what was really, I don't know if you noticed that. So he hit those 6 perfects and then raced to the. It was the quickest he'd moved all night. He was immediately. I was at the hockey before the darts had been retrieved. He was already up here. And I just thought, where has this been? Where has this been?
That was it. Like,
all of a sudden,
at least this standard that we saw, which wasn't very good, if it was just a bit quicker, it's more watchable, at least, isn't it? Like, at least if they're getting up there and throwing them at a decent pace, then it's not as bad. But when it's as slow and painful, like, I honestly thought Sky's feed had gone down when he was going for the double 18 on the 110. Like, it was that long in between them zooming in on the double and him actually letting it go. I genuinely thought the feed's gone down here. Something's gone wrong at the Palace, and it's Phil Bars was telling us that the internet's not the best. I thought someone's kicked a cable out.
Yeah, someone's booted a cable. Well, there was a bit of comms that I really enjoyed when he was going for that double tops, and Mardle just said, "Right, here we go, no faffing." And then there was a while I went, "Oh, actually, there is some faffing." And he's clearly had a step back. I'd have thought, "Oh, by Christ!" Now the only thing, folks, we can all pray to the darting gods for is that if he plays Dimitri Vandenbergh in the next round, let's just play that Dimitri doesn't try and fucking slow him down.
Oh, Jesus.
because if
I hadn't even considered that possibility, and now
if Dimmy gets in the mood for it, if Dimmy's in a bad mood and slows it down, by God, that could be.
Oh shit! What night's that on?
We'll be the breakfast bar instead of the Fallout bar. That deal, won't we?
The breakfast bar, yeah, we'll do it the morning.
Everyone's been kicked out 6 hours ago. There's no one left.
We'll do the breakfast bar, bacon sandwiches all around. Right. I don't want to talk about that game anymore. Matters Rasma won 3-1, and that's it. It was a game of darts that happened. Some more will happen tomorrow. And speaking of that,
that's it. Something happened. Congrats to the winner. Move on.
Right. We're going to rattle through some predictions for tomorrow, folks. In the chat room, if you're watching, get your predictions in as we walk through the games. We'll stick them on the screen, have a bit crack about them, see what's going on and what you think is going to happen.
Apologies with no clips tonight, but that I think is down to the internet as well. We will definitely have some at some point in this tournament, I'm sure. The famous Mr. Phil Bars will do his thing, but I'm sure they will all be up on the YouTube for you to watch in full when this is done, or maybe save them all up and watch them in between the 3 darts that Rasma throws in his next round.
Yeah, so we've got I think Phil's working on one of those. Remember when you used to get those AOL dial-up CDs that give you a free 15 minutes internet access? I think that's what I think loading free trials to AOL into his machine this evening.
I think he's trying to hook a wire up to the Ali Pali Wasp and get some power out of it.
Yeah, but it's not going well. But yes, as Cam says, as ever, all of the interviews with tonight's winners will be uploaded in full to the Online Darts YouTube channel. So you'll be able to catch all of those interviews as well as short chopped up versions wherever you get your short form content. So tomorrow we are in an afternoon session. Great for the folks that finish early on a Friday.
I'll be on an afternoon session tomorrow. It's my Christmas do tomorrow. 12 o'clock straight on the BS.
Oh, well, I'll be at work, I'm afraid, so I won't see a lot of the action tomorrow afternoon. But
yeah,
tomorrow...
just a spoiler for you there, I am not on tomorrow. If I try and get on, do not let me on.
Yeah, so we do have a policy that when Cam has gone out for a drink, we actively block him from getting onto the stream because it can be carnage. We get in trouble with our sponsors and things like that. Right, we kick off tomorrow in the afternoon session. 1 o'clock start, 12:40, 1 o'clock. Neil Zonneveld and Haupai Puha. Cam, I'll come to you first. Predictions in the chat room, please.
3-1 Zonneveld. I think. Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, I fancy that he'll win this one.
Dan?
I was going to say a 3-1 Zonneveld, but I don't want to copy, so I'll say a 3-0. I'll be different.
Well, the only problem I have is I'm going to have to agree with one of you, and I think I'm going to agree with Cam. I think I'm going to give Puha a leg. I think he'll just hold through a couple of times in a set, and it'll get him over the line for a set on throw. But I just think that in the kindest possible way, Zonneveld is the better dart player and will just play slightly better than Puha will and will win sets when if it comes to deciding legs, he'll bag them whether they're on darts or not.
Yeah.
Let's have a look in the chat. I think we might have a couple of rogue ones, but Murdy's gone 3-1. Zonneveld, Dan Lucas has gone Zonneveld winning 3-1 as well, as has Robbie. Bobby's gone the other way. Bobby's gone Puha winning 3-1, as has Rob has gone Puha 3-2. He's got it going to the wire. The Welsh correspondent is in, who will be on the show tomorrow. So Cowan Evans will be live on the show tomorrow.
It feels strange without him, doesn't it, on here? It's not.
Yeah, it does.
Not right.
Cowan's back tomorrow while you're on your Christmas do, so he will be on the show.
He's always here to get us out of trouble, isn't he?
Ducky Baker's gone 3-0. Zonneveld, Andy Lorraine's done the same as well. Zonneveld 3-0. Lots of Zonneveld heavy victories predicted in the chat room. Nico has gone Puha as well. So it's not a clean sweep. We have got a couple pitching in for the New Zealander there, but it's fairly heavy in favour of the Dutchman. Really interesting. So here is a game. I never thought I would say this, with either of these two lads, but here's a game that I'm genuinely looking forward to tomorrow. I think because I think we could get anything. It could be absolute shit, or it could be quite entertaining. Dan, you can go first this time. What do you think is going to happen when Ian White meets Mervyn King?
I think it could be a bit of a slugfest. Two legends of the game in their own right going up against it. Don't see the highest quality match, but I do think it could be entertaining. But I think White's going to take it in a very competitive 3-1. I don't think any of the sets are going to be 3-0. I think they'll all go close, but I think White will just be a bit tidier around the doubles.
Cam?
Yeah, I think this is one of them games that I can very much see it doing what Dan thinks, but I'm going fully heart over head. I want Mervyn King to win this game. Ian White hasn't got the best record at the Palace, as we know. So, yeah, I'm taking, as the Welsh correspondent puts it there, look, he's even throwing great lines in the chat room. Royalty wins at the Palace, King 3-1. I'm fully agreeing with him. That's my prediction as well.
I've got it a bit tighter than both of you. I genuinely think this is going to be a great watch. I don't think we're going to see, 104 averages from each. I don't think we're going to see the world, but I think it's going to be really back and forth. I just think we're going to see a lot of deciding legs. I'm going Mervyn King 3-2. The signed match one Mervyn King shirt that Mrs. S put through the washer and watched the signature off.
It hasn't been signed for quite some time.
And hasn't been signed for a long time. It has come down from the box of dart shirts at the top of the wardrobe in case Mervyn wins, and I could be wearing it tomorrow on the stream, so I could we could have that on, which I've got to back it. But no, in truth, I think whilst I've seen them both play over the last 12 months, we've seen them playing in very different contexts. We've seen Ian White on tour as normal. We've seen Mervyn King popping up in all sorts of obscure places playing darts. But
he popped up in the South Manchester presentation night.
He did. He popped up at your presentation.
I played a leg against him. Badly.
But did you win?
No. That was all.
And I just think I've maybe seen better darts from Mervyn King than I've seen from Ian White of late. And I think, we know he's got that level. And I think he again is one of the, isn't going to be fair. He's done this 1,000 times before. I think it's going to be pretty comfortable. In terms of how he approaches the game, I think the game's going to be tight. 3-2. I think we've got a right mixed bag in the chat room. Robbie has gone 3-1, Mervyn King. Gordon's 3-2, King. He's with me. Rob's King 3-0. Dan Lucas has spun it the other way. He's gone White 3-2. Nico's got Mervyn King 3-2. We do have a lot of love in the chat room for Big Merv. I think there's a lot of heart overhead going on in the chat room as well. Baz has gone 3-2, Mervyn King. Murdy 3-2 as well. Ducky's 3-1, King. As we said, the Welsh correspondent has gone 3-1. He'll be on tomorrow, so if he's made a fool of himself, we'll be able to talk about it. Andy's gone King to beat White 3-0. I thought it was going to be closer than this, but I think there's the lone Ian White pick, and everyone else. Andrew's gone 3-1, 3-2 King, last leg decider. Give me that, please. Jamie Drummer, Mervyn King 3-2. So very, very heavy. Yeah, it's not very often that we see, a tour card holder who comes in as, on the seeded side of the draw, playing someone who hasn't got a tour card, and we've got predictions that heavy, but that's what everybody thinks is going to happen.
We're all just trying to believe it into existence.
And everyone's willing it into existence. Right. Game 3 in the afternoon session sees Ryan Searle against Chris Landman. And I think we're in for a very, very heavy lean in the chat room predictions here. Cam, is there any possibility of an upset here?
No. Zero possibility of an upset. Ryan Searle wins 3-0. It's not even close.
Dan?
Yeah, I don't even want to be different this time, just for the sake of it. 3-0 Searle.
Well, it's time to get yourselves straight to Paddy Power, folks, because
yes,
I've made it a clean sweep. Well done, got the right side as well. I've made it a clean sweep. It is going to be 3-0 to Ryan Searle, which means you can absolutely guarantee.
Absolutely lump on Landman.
Either that or just go over 3.1 and you're fine. Like, you pissed that if you go over 3.1.
Yeah,
there's no way
probably do it.
Three of us have nailed it.
11-4 with the sponsors on Landman if you want to make some money.
There you go. I think we may have a clean sweep in the chat room, but let's see as we work our way through them. Bobsy's got Searle winning 3-0.
There's a couple of rogue ones in there trying to make themselves look like they know what they're on about.
I haven't got that far down yet. Gordon's gone 3-0 to Lord Farquhar. Robbie has gone 3-0 Searle. Dan Lucas. Jamie Drummer's gone with an upset. Landman 3-1. That would be a big upset, especially that wide of victory as well. Ducky's gone 3-0 Searle, as has Rob. Andrew's 3-1. Murdy's 3-0. Baz is 3-0. Carwin is 3-0 as well. And Andy's gone 3-0 Landman.
He's only gone that because we all went. 3-0 the other way. He knows that we must be wrong.
Yeah, he knows there's no way. We've never clean swept a score pick on the live lounge. I don't think it's ever happened in 5 years. Now
you've got that confused. You've called it the wrong thing.
Yeah, I have. It's not the live lounge. It's the Fallout bar. We haven't picked anything right on the live lounge either. Let's be honest.
No, that's true. You're absolutely spot on.
We're at least consistent in our ability to pick results.
We've also not got the predicting wine out on night one of the World Championships either. With
school night in it, so I've gone for that. I'm on a Brooklyn lager tonight. Yeah, Friday night. You are, yeah. Fridays.
Let the side down.
Next to your head, Dan. You've got to get yourself a beer.
The Fallout bar. So we might. I think the predicting wine might come out tomorrow night, with it being a Friday night. Now this is interesting because I've done something interesting both with my my fantasy darts and predictions and my little dabbles with our sponsors, Paddy Power. Rob Cross and Cordecker. Dan, I think it's your turn to go first. Do you think?
I think Rob Cross is going to win, just to start. And I can't give you a logical reason why, but I think it's going to be really hard work. I just don't think Cross will play well this early into a tournament. So I think it could be a bit of a scruffy 3-2.
Cam?
Yeah, I've got a feeling it might be quite scruffy as well. But I think I'll start to really worry for him if it gets to 2 apiece. So I think he's just about going to squeeze over the line 3-1, but with very close, like deciding legs in the sets and just about get through it. But yeah, I think he will improve from there. But I think it's going to be a tough start.
I don't see it. I think I have this itching feeling in my head that that Euro Tour semi-final that Cordecker made really recently. I think it was the second to last Euro Tour, and he looked brilliant on that Euro Tour stage. And I've seen glimpses this year of a real player, a really talented player. And I think Rob Cross is so far away that I think that you can almost beat yourself in your head before you've got on the stage. I think he's piling, so he could pile so much pressure on himself that it could just be really, really difficult. And I might be way off the mark, and he could prove me wrong. And in lots of ways, I hope he does. Like I hope Rob Cross turns up tomorrow and averages 105 and bashes him up 3-0 because it's better for darts, and I'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
but the prediction is Cordecker wins 3-1, and I think Rob Cross might have a bit of I think he might really struggle up there, and I just think Decker will just come out and be very, very steady, a bit like we saw at the Euro Tour. And if you're not at your best, he'll have you, and I think that could happen tomorrow. It's nice to pick an upset now and again, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a look, see what the chat room thinks. Bobsy's gone 3-1, Bobby Cross. Robbie's gone Bobby Cross 3-2. Gordon has gone with me. He's gone Cordecker winning 3-1. Dan Lucas has gone 3-1 Cross. Ducky's gone 3-2 Cordecker. Jamie Drummer 3-2 Cross extra time. Andrew thinks it's comfortable 3-0 Cross. That's the only score that I can't make my peace with, I think, so far. I can't see a 3-0 whitewash, but I would love to. Rob's gone.
You just never know, though. You just never know. He just might turn up and just clicks sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could, and I'd love to see it. I would love to see him back at his best. Absolutely love it. Murdy's gone 3-1 to the big Norwegian. I thought he was playing for Man City.
He'd have no problem finishing.
He'd have no problem finishing at all. Carwin has gone Decker 3-2. Cross can't cope with the afternoon session yet. I think I'm right in. Anthony is in there. What a hat, my friend. What a hat that was. Well done. Well done to the lad. He's off and running, isn't he? Adie's in as well. Good to see you in the chat room. Adie, he's gone Rob Cross with a 3-1 win. bit of a mixed bag. There was more, there was a few. I've got a few allies in there, just a few, thinking that Cordecker might just best Rob Cross in tomorrow afternoon's headliner. Moving into the evening session, and I think this is a player that can probably find himself a bit unfortunate in the draw because Andres Harrison is a superb darts player, and I would have picked him, I think, against an awful lot of players, but maybe not Ross Smith, Dan?
I think Ross Smith is my prediction for performance of the night tomorrow. I think he's going to come in good 105 average. I think he's going to start really strong, be hitting them 180s. I think 3-0 Ross Smith.
Big pick. Cam, Smith, Smudger or Dirty Harry?
I've got a sneaking feeling that Smudger has a little run. So, with that being the case, I can't have him losing this game. I think, we know how good Harrison is. We've seen him on all sorts of different venues, different stages, how good he can play. But I just think that Smudger's going to be right on it. And I think he wins 3-1.
Yeah, I think sort of, what they said a bit. I think he's played some great stuff lately, Ross Smith. I think he was probably unfortunate at the Players' Championship finals to bump into Luke Littler because that's just unfortunate for anyone. It means you have to go home.
Yeah, basically.
Just pack your bags. You got there to draw. And yeah, I think Harrison has a really good chance against over 50% of the field in that opening leg or in that opening round. But I just think Smudger's going to have too much. I got it 3-1 because I think Harrison will hold a set when he's on throw and keep hold of the darts. But yeah, I think Smith will just have too much for him. Bit of mixture, I think.
It's a tough draw for both, isn't it? You wouldn't have wanted Harrison if you were one of the seeds. And to be fair, of people that Harrison could have drawn, Ross Smith is probably one of the ones that he wouldn't have wanted either.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of being a seed is that you're supposed to get a really winnable game in the opening round, aren't you? And that just hasn't happened to Ross Smith on this one. So, I mean, we're straight in top. First pick in the chat room is the upset. Robbie has gone with a 3-2 Dirty Harry win. Dan Lucas has gone 3-1 Smith. Ducky's gone 3-1 Dirty Harry, averaging 102. Gordon's gone Smith 3-2. Andy, I mean, that's a bold call. That's even bolder than Dan's call with it picking a 105 average. He's gone 3-0.
I mean, it'll help towards the 105 average if he hits one.
Yeah, he'd have to have some stinkers to draw. Rob's gone 3-1 Smith. Carwin has gone 3-0 Ross Smith, as has Baz. Jamie's been picking some underdogs in his predictions, I've noticed in the chat room, but he's gone 3-1 Dirty Harry. That's his dark horse to go on the run. He is a serious player, and I tell you what, if he does get past, if he upsets Ross Smith, it sends a serious message out and could put a real fire under him to sort of
and it is a good little section that he's in as well. So if he does get through it, great chance to go on a run as well. It
could really push him on through the draw. Andrew's gone 3-1 Smudger, as has Murdy. So I think either way, the evening session is going to get off to an interesting start and a fun one. I think I'm looking forward to this second one as well. I think it's another pretty watchable game. Ricky Evans always watchable. Manlock Lung, we've seen great things from him on this stage and on other stages as well. People have picked him as the potential Asian player that's going to break out and create a name for himself. But what do you think, Cam?
Yeah, I think this is a belter. I've been looking forward to this one since the draw came out. Obviously, we spoke to Ricky at the Live Lounge Live as well, and he's looking forward to. We'll get something decent in terms of outfit and walk on and everything that we want to see at Christmas from Ricky Evans. And yeah, I just think it's a belting game, to be honest. I don't really know what's going to happen. This is
No,
why I'm
that's
feeling a little bit
the
here.
attraction, isn't it? That's why it's quite a fun game.
I really like both, and I'd love both to have drawn someone else. And like, if we could see both Ricky and Hugo going further, I'd be pretty happy. But one of them's got to win, and I just fancy that Ricky Evans will be the one to get it done and wins. I want to see lots of this. 3-2.
Like that. Dan, what are you thinking?
We need to stop Cam going first because he annoyingly speaks some sense.
Jesus, you can tell you're new to the show. That's the
first time. I tell you what, we're gonna have to clip that up. I think, and we'll have to clip that up and.
I'll be clipping it up.
Don't you put a good compilation together, eh? It's hard to be unbiased when it comes to Ricky Evans because I love him. He just seems like a great bloke. You want him to do well. When it's going in and he's throwing 3 darts in 1.6 seconds, it's unbelievable to watch. So I am going to edge him, but I think if there's any game tomorrow that goes to a sudden death, it could be that one. I think it could be that tight. But I will say Evans 3-2.
I hope it does, I hope it does go to sudden death because, I do think, if nothing else, it's a very interesting, fun game. I think, the game is going to be played in a tremendous spirit. I think they're both going to come and entertain the crowd. Manlock Lung has got a game in him. He really has got a game in him. We saw that quarter-final run from Hong Kong in the World Cup. And regardless of what, where you rate the World Cup and how much, but what it does is you've got to actually
the World Cup's good, and like we're not having anything other than that said about it.
We've had that banter in our little WhatsApp group about what we think of the World Cup. But dragging Hong Kong through into that quarter-final, there is definitely a game from him. We saw him win a game last year on this stage. I think it's going to be 3-2. I think it's probably going to be 3-2 to Ricky Evans, because I just think he's got a bit too much experience, and I think what he just has to not get too excited, and the risk in a 3-2 game is that he sort of loses focus, I think, for Ricky, and that he can't sort of just focus and concentrate for that long and keep the game where it needs to be if it drags on. But I'm going to go Ricky Evans 3-2. It's probably heart over head, but I think it's going to be entertaining either way. Where are we starting in the chat room? Dan Lucas in first. Ricky winning 3-1. Gordon's gone Rapid Ricky.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
No more of these. That's enough. Rapid Ricky wins 3-2. Robbie has gone 3-1. Ricky Evans. Jamie Drummer 3-0. Ricky Evans. 3-0 as well from Murdy. Carwin's gone Ricky Evans 3-1. I tell you what, it's a rout in the chat room. Bobsy 3-1, Ricky Evans. Ducky 3-2. Christmas Ricky wins 3-0. Baz Fitz, Andy, the Christmas pudding hat is going to be trending soon. I think you could start selling them, mate. Get them on a website. Take advantage. Get the merch site up and running. Get them signed. Rob has gone 3-2, Manlock Long, best session of the round. Yeah, it's a really, really good session. And it will be interesting, certainly, to see an upset. Andy's gone 3-0, Ricky Evans. All but one, pretty confident. But I think either way, we're hoping for a really competitive and fun game. I am not as confident in game number 3 in the afternoon that we're going to see a competitive game, Dan, as Jan van Veen meets Cristo Reyes, Spain's only representative in the World Championships. What do we think?
I really think Van Veen is going to have a very good run at this World Championships. I don't see him going out in the first round. I think he might even get to the last 4 and put in some really good performances in doing that. So I'm going to go 3-0. And it's not going to be that competitive either, I don't think.
Cam, anything different to offer?
I think this is closer than it feels. And I think it's closer than the odds have it. I think it's come in a little bit since I called it out for Van Veen being 50 to 1 on when they first opened up the book. I think it's a little bit closer now. I think he's about 11 to 1 on with the sponsors right now. But I just think Cristo Reyes was excellent in qualifying for this tournament. He put up some good averages. He played really, really well. And if Jan's not quite at it early on, he could be under a bit of pressure. That being said, I think he comes through it. But I think he wins after a bit of an early wobble and wins 3-2.
Ooh.
He's not never won a game on this stage either, hasn't Jan?
No, and Cristo Reyes has won a few. Like he has
been a while, but he's playing well.
Yeah, it's been a while, but back he did.
Take advantage of whatever the over 3.5 is in this one is what I would be my advice. But I also said that about Lucky Day earlier, so take that with a pinch of salt and make sure you use your 10 pence responsibly.
I don't know if I can buy it. I think yes, he played well to qualify and to get there. But I think Jan van Veen he's had a sort of I do think he's had an up and down year. It has been absolute brilliant. The European Championship was amazing, but then to go out in that round robin the way that he did at the Grand Slam, he had a pretty stinking time in Minehead as well. Like it did. I think he's due almost sort of angrily turning someone over because I just think he's had a bit of a rough time of it since that European title, and I think this is where he delivers it. I think it's a 3-0 win, and this is where I think we see certainly the highest average of the tournament so far. I think he'll pop something 104, 105. I think we'll see a real performance. I think he's ready to hand someone a bit of a spanking. And I think that
he'll need more than 105 for the highest. Dan's already told us that Ross Smith's having 105, so he's going to have to
105.1, that'll do.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see. But yeah, I think he's gonna properly serve him up. I just think Cristo Reyes will not have enough to deal with what Jan will bring to the stage tomorrow. Looking very, very quickly down the list of predictions in the chat room, I think this is it's not only is it almost a clean sweep in picks, but it's almost a clean sweep in score lines as well. Gordon has done a 3-0. Jan van Veen. We're going to see a lot of this, folks. Robbie is there as well with a 3-0. So is Jamie Drummer, as is Dan Lucas. Ducky's 3-0. Jan as well, as is Baz. I'll be better off picking the ones that weren't, to be honest. Andy's 3-0 in as well. Oh, Carwin's done my usual trick. Reyes will win 2 legs, but Jan van Veen will win 3-0. Murray's got the same. Oh, Adie's gone a little bit. He's stuck with everyone else, but
here at least we go. So some clever fellas.
Yeah, Adie watches. I think Adie watches more darts than probably the three of us put together. He might know exactly what he's talking about. He's gone Van Veen winning 3-2. Hylax never won at the Palace. Andrew's gone 3-0, possibly 9-0 in legs. Yeah, that is where I'm at. I think at that sort of stage. J Webb has been playing amazing, average 105 recently, 3-2 Van Veen. Rob 3-2 Van Veen again. There's a couple there just making it a little bit tighter, but we've certainly got
it was a clean sweep of results for Van Veen, and even the ones of us that think that Reyes is going to play well still think he gets beat.
Yeah, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, but all of the certainties are that Jan van Veen wins that match. Final game, you can argue, I was going to say main event, but they like to restructure things. It's not like boxing. The main event doesn't go on last at the Palace.
I mean, if you're telling me that one tonight was the main event, then
that was the main event. That's how it works, isn't it? Luke Littler was the warm-up act, and then that was your main event. Hope you liked it. Thanks for coming. Whose turn is it? Cam?
Maybe me. I don't know. Yeah, so we've got Dieter Hedman against Steve Lennon. If anyone to watch the Paddy Power video from today.
Yeah. So can Damon Heta win on a stage anymore? There's the first question. Like, if you look down,
it's a third question.
Yeah. First round, didn't win a game at the match play, or the Grand Prix, or the European Championships, or the Grand Slam, or the Players Championship finals. Just every single TV event in a row, he's just turned up, got beat, gone straight home. Can he win a match on the telly anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. And if you are struggling a little bit to win a match on telly, Steve Lennon's not someone you want to play either. He's steady as anything. But I do think Damon wins this. I think he comes through it, and I think it's got to change at some point. He can't keep losing in the first round. And what better place to change it than at the Palace? Heta wins 3-1.
Dan, what are you thinking?
I'm having similar thoughts. Like, Lennon, he's very steady. He's not the first round pick you want, really, if you're a seed, is it? There's a lot easier matches out there. But by the law of averages, Heta has to win one. Like, he's far too good a player to keep losing first round. I think he's going to edge it 3-2.
It's a key point from Bobsy there as well. Lennon's probably lost his card if he doesn't win it. And I think that is more a reason for him to lose the game than win it, because there's a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, there's a few elements of it for me, and I think that you two have probably summed them all up between you. I think, Scuba Steve is a top player, but there is a very good reason why he's at risk of losing his card, and that's because he hasn't been able to find a decent level often enough and consistently enough this year at all. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen him close to his best, and at the minute, I don't think, and it terrifies me to say this, we could be in for a similar game headlining tomorrow as we saw tonight. I think Steve Lennon's far from his best, as is Damon Heta, and I think the nerves will be with both of them tomorrow. I think they'll both struggle to get going and find a bit of flow. And I sort of think, well, if we see a C game from both of them, whose C game do I think is best? And I probably think it's Damon Heta. And I probably think that I don't think we'll see a great performance from either of them, but I just think all Damon Heta needs is a win on the telly in a tournament. And then I think we will very quickly see him ascend back to the player that Damon Heta is. So for that and a number of reasons, I think that I'm going to pick Damon Heta as a 3-1 winner. Again, he's too good a player. But like you said, he's too good a player to keep losing. He can't keep losing. He's too good. He has to, law of averages said, he has to win at some point, doesn't he? He's got to. Right, in the chat room, because we are now 2 minutes into tomorrow and we do try and finish the show before tomorrow starts. So let's have a quick look. Who got in first for that?
We would have done if it wasn't for Rasma.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if it wasn't for that last game, we'd have been done yesterday, wouldn't we?
Only one Rasma visit over 12 o'clock, so it's fine.
We are, with one Rasma visit.
But we've still got a couple of minutes left of that,
Gordon's got the Heat winning 3-1. Jamie's got Dieter winning 3-0. Robbie's got Scuba Steve winning 3-2. Another one as well, though. Bobsy's gone Lennon to win 3-2. Knock out a seed. Dan Lucas, Dieter 3-1. Andrew's gone Damon Heta winning 3-1. Baz has gone Scuba Steve 3-1. We've really split the chat room here. Steve Lennon wins 3-1. The Ashes goes against. He's Irish.
None of that. We're not talking about that. Shite.
Don't speak the Ashes. Don't speak to Cal about the Ashes. Christ, we'll be
here if they're a full Rasma game still.
We'll become a breakfast show.
We'll need something stronger than a beer.
J Webb, the heat will be turned off. 3-1 Lennon. Rob's going Heta 3-1. Andy's going 3-1 to Lennon. It really is right down the line in the chat room. Is any more? Murray's on 3-2. Heta just edges it. Lennon won last time they played each other, so it could be a bit of revenge in there. James is the final one of the night with Damon Heta winning 3-1. Right, folks, that brings almost exactly to the minute 1 hour for the first of a very, very many fallout bars of the 2026 Paddy Power World Championships. Quick shout out to the folks at Paddy Power, folks. Please don't forget the Darts of Destiny, one of the coolest initiatives that we have seen. I think genuinely one of the best things that we've seen. We love what Paddy Power do for the World Championships because they do some brilliant social content. There's some tremendous banter. They make it interesting for the players with 9 darters, but the amount of work that they have done in raising money for charities, very, very important charities, is like which is a million miles beyond what we've ever seen from a dart sponsor in the history of the sport. So they're doing some absolutely top work. They are sponsoring us here at Online Darts for the Fallout Bar all the way throughout. So when we talk about odds and predictions, we'll be referencing Paddy Power. You'll see the logo up in the top of the screen. And when you go online after this show, type in Paddy Power Darts of Destiny and have a little look at what the guys are doing there. It's absolutely superb. I will be back.
And you might win yourself enough to probably keep your tour card.
Yeah, well, in fact, you could. I think you can win enough. That was the question I asked. If you make a donation, you get selected, and you win 180 grand, right? And you win £180,000. If I did that, technically, am I the world number 38? Because
that's literally I said that at Live Lounge Live as well. I was like, does it go on my ranking?
Yeah, does it? If it goes on the ranking,
I've won it on a stage at the Palace. I think it should do.
Yeah, I agree. I want to be playing Euro Tour next year. I want to be going. I want to be there. But yeah, absolutely top work from the guys at Paddy Power, folks. And yeah, it's what an opportunity that is to pick up a very, very, very huge prize, but do a bit of good at the same time. I will be back tomorrow. I think Carmen's joining us. I don't know who else is. We might be doing some 3-man, 4-man. Who knows? We are going all out for the World Championships this year. Make sure you are connected on all of the social channels because you will be getting previews every day. You'll be getting roundup reports every night. We're going to do the fallout every day. You'll get all sorts of social interactions throughout the games. Phil Barr's the hardest man in darts. Is essentially moved
the hardest man in darts. Who's he knocked out?
Hardest working man in darts. Hardest man in darts. Yeah, he's having that as well. That's his title. That's what he tells everyone when he walks in.
I think there's a couple that might beat him in that.
That's why he sits on the front table in the press room. Hardest working man in darts. He's pretty much moved in to Alexandra Palace for the entire winter. And he will be interviewing every single winner. All of that content will be on the Online Darts YouTube channel. So go there, make sure you're subscribed. Check it out. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you very much, Cam, as ever. Thank you very much, Dan, debut Dan, for his first visit to the Fallout Bar. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you all very much and good night.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championship.